What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're over here at Magtheridon's Lair over in Hellfire Peninsula, and that's gonna be our first stop for how to get the Tier 4 gear set. Now, this was released as soon as Burning Crusade came out, and it's down in this little cubby hole right at the bottom of the Hellfire ramparts and Shattered Halls and all that. Don't worry about any of these bosses. They're all real easy. Okay? Especially Magtheridon. Magtheridon is a motherfucking joke. He was a joke at 70. And so at 90, he's really a joke. So don't get worried. If you want to get this gear set, you're definitely going to be able to solo without a problem. So basically, you just come down here and there's like these trash packs you just have to kill. If you don't kill them, they'll like aggro to you whenever you fight Magtheridon. But they have like 130,000 health, so even if they do come, it doesn't really matter. The Tier 4 gear drops in 3 different places. It drops in Gruul's lair, it drops in Magtheridon's lair, and it drops in Karazhan. And so you've got to go 3 different places to get all the gear. For Magtheridon here, what we're doing is I'm killing all these casters. So you can see I had a trash pack that I didn't clear on the other side of the room, or the other side of the instance, whatever. And they aggro to me. And as you can see, I'm handling it pretty well, because it's level 70 instance. After you kill all the guys that are channeling on Magtheridon, Magtheridon actually spawns. What you need to know about Magtheridon is you need to know that you have to kill him. And that's all you need to know. You just kill Magtheridon and he's dead. That's it. There's no strategy. It doesn't matter. As you can see, he's already dead. Totally non-issue. He drops a bunch of stuff. He actually drops a bag. You know, if you got a new character, you could go get a bag on him. And he drops a chest piece. And so anyway, the next place that we're going to go is we're going to go to Gruul's Lair. Gruul's Lair is, for anybody that doesn't know, it's in Blade's Edge Mountain. So you just look on the map and it'll tell you where it is. It's a little, again, it's a little cubby hole that Gruul's hiding out in. And there are 2 bosses in Gruul's Lair. Basically, it's the High King Mulgar, who is like a council fight. And there's a little bit of finesse to doing him, or at least there kind of used to be. There's really not now. You kind of want to kill the warlock, and the reason for that is he'll spam this what's it called? Yeah, Kigler the Craze. Is he'll spam this jeez, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. This death coil on you, and that's kind of annoying. Also, the caster will heal him. The mage will just do damage to you basically and knock you back. And High King Mulgar will sit there and basically do nothing and die. High King Mulgar drops the shoulders. And he also, oh yeah, he drops that mace that was in the Burning Crusade cinematic. And so he's really not an issue, but I would say just channel a big spell on one of the bosses and just, especially Kigler, you want to kill Kigler first just so he doesn't do any death coils on you or anything like that. Because again, I mean, it's not really about being able to finish the instance. You're going to be able to finish it, but it's finishing as fast as you can. The trash, as you can see, really isn't a big deal either. They all have like 200,000 health. In terms of Gruul, Gruul really only has one ability, and it doesn't matter. He'll knock you in the air, and he'll turn you into a rock. If you kill him while he knocks you into the air and you're being turned into a rock, you'll stay as a rock for like 30 seconds, I think, unless they changed it. And so, again, it doesn't really matter, but as you can see, Gruul just goes down like a bitch, and I think he drops the leggings, and he drops some other pretty cool things. He drops a pretty cool shield, Aldori Legacy Defender, if I remember correctly. And that's actually pretty much it. And so the next place you need to go after you kill Gruul is you go to Karazhan. This is where you're going to spend the rest of your time. Now, Karazhan is in the, what's it called? Not Deepwind Gorge. It's in Duskwind Pass, and it's down at the bottom, and you just open this gate and you go inside. Now, I'm going to go through the entire instance because the odds are for people who are watching this video, if you're watching this video and you don't already know how to go through Karazhan, you might need a little bit of help because it is kind of confusing. You walk inside and you take a left and you go and you fight Attunement. Make sure you don't one-shot Attunement. Be very slow on DPS and don't kill him. Just let the fight progress until he's actually on the horse. Because if he's not on the horse, then it can bug out. Anyway, Attunement can also drop a mount, and mount's pretty cool. It's just the same as Midnight, which is his mount that you start off fighting, and so it's really not a big deal. The mount is 0.25% chance, and it's a 1 week lockout. So it's actually one of the lowest drop rate chances, mount drop rate chances in the entire game. And it took me, I think it took me 5 years to farm that mount, but I finally was able to. And it's a pretty nice mount. Anyway, after you kill a Toonman, you can go up 2 ways. You can go the way I go is up here, and you have to fight Moros, who's the kind of like the, I don't know, he's just kind of chilling. I don't even really know what the hell he is. He's basically just chilling up here with some other people. And he doesn't really drop anything. There are 2 bosses in here that drop tier 4 items, and just to cut to the chase, if nobody else, if you guys don't want to like really go through the entire Karazhan video, you don't feel that you need to. Curator drops the gloves, and yeah, Curator drops the gloves, and Prince Malchezaar, who's the last boss. Curator is the 4th boss, or no, he's 5th boss. And Prince Malchezaar, who's the last boss, besides like Nightbane, will drop your helmet, and so that's all you need to do for tier 4. But for those who don't know, you come over to the come over inside here and fight the Maiden of Virtue. This was like pretty annoying for me because she like spams this silence thing over and over, and so obviously it's not really a big deal because she's got less health than like a normal level 90 mob. So it's not really a big deal, but it is a little annoying. After you kill her, you can go ahead and you're going to go up to the Opera event. And the Opera event can spawn 1 of 3 different events. It can spawn a basically a Wizard of Oz event. It can spawn a Romeo and Juliet event, and it can spawn a Little Red Riding Hood event. The Little Red Riding Hood event, the cool thing about that is you're actually able to get a pet from the Little Red Riding Hood event. And it's called the Big Bad Wolf, and I'm surprised that it doesn't sell better because it seems like it would be the rarest pet, but the one from SSC sells very well on my server. Anyway, on this video, I think that I have I'm fighting the Romeo and Juliet event. They're all relatively the same in terms of difficulty, and basically, you can do this if you're like a level 80 character, probably with decent gear, or definitely 85. And so you should never really feel like you're not able to do this fight or this instance at all. The only thing that can be annoying is doing the chess event. And I was thinking about, it's like, should I leave this in or not? And I actually decided that I'm going to leave in the chess event and I'm just going to go over it. Now, I might not have the best strategy out there. There are a lot of videos on how to solo the chess event. And if my video doesn't work for you, you might want to check somebody else's video. But I have my own strategy and it seems to work pretty much all the time. And it can be very frustrating if you don't know how, because I actually learned my strategy from another video a couple years ago, and then I kind of adapted it to make it go a little bit quicker. The Romeo and Juliet fight, basically you start out fighting Julianne, who's Juliet, and then Romeo spawns, and Romulo, whatever. Basically you kill him, as you can see, one-shot him, not a big deal. And then they're both going to spawn at the same time. Make sure they die at relatively the same time. Because if they don't, then they'll resurrect each other. But it's really, you've got to really suck for them to resurrect each other. So don't worry about it. At this point, you can go back outside and go to the secret entrance. But I decided not to do that because it would be a waste of time. You just go up this pathway, and I actually didn't even know that the 2 connected until I was like level 80 because, I was a fucking noob. And so anyway, basically you come up here and you kill all these like ghostly patrons and ghostly philanthropists. The ghostly philanthropists, actually, a fun fact, is they actually used to drop 250 gold each. And I was totally out of the loop for this. Like I could have probably gold capped myself like 3 times over. And almost every single botter and botting program and botting company was botting this instance with a hunter 24/7 at level 80. In order to just farm those philanthropists. You could farm something like, I don't know, there was like 10 of them or like 7 of them or something like that. So you'd average like almost 10,000 gold an hour, and that was at level 80. Whenever the gold cap was only, I think it was like a little bit over 200,000 gold. So when you think about that, it's fucking ridiculous. But little fun fact, it's completely irrelevant to getting your tier 4 gear. Basically, you just kind of follow my path up here, and you're going to come up to the Curator. Curator actually also drops a pet. I'm going to do a video on the pets later on, but so we'll go over that in that video. I'm not really going to go over too much of the pets. Basically, Curator, the strategy for Curator is you cast one spell at Curator and he dies. Not a hard fight, just like every single other fight in here. Absolutely not a hard fight. And again, he does drop the gloves. And so, basically, as soon as you kill him, oh, you can loot these other guys in here, and they drop a bunch of like motes of mana, and you can get like 5 or 7, or I don't know, a pretty good amount of motes of mana in this dungeon if you want them. Fun fact is that you do not want to aggro these mana worms that are down here that I'm actually going out of my way to aggro like a moron. Because as I said, I don't really spend a whole lot of time in Karazhan anymore, so I forgot that they're actually completely immune to spell damage. Now, instead of summoning my pet and having my pet kill them like an intelligent person, what you'll see I did in this video is I actually zoomed in and I beat each and every single one of them down with my staff. I'm not really sure why, especially when I'm on camera. I had no idea why I was doing that while I was recording. It was extremely stupid, but It only took a second, so I'm not really going to worry about like fast forwarding through it. Basically, one thing you have to worry about with Karazhan is like if you fall off, you're probably going to die, and it is kind of annoying, and then you have to do the entire run back. But honestly, there's really no point in this instance where you're going to die. But if you are a caster, as you can see, like you do not want to actually aggro these mana worms because it's not like it's really hard to deal with them. I mean, they're just like pathetic little level 70 monsters, but they're just kind of annoying. So my advice to you is just don't aggro the mana worms, unless you want to staff down, 10 to 15 little mobs for no reason. Karazhan is probably one of my favorite instances, honestly. Even after I remember back in Burning Crusade, if someone would just mention Karazhan, I would actually get physically sick because I did it so many times. And for Terrestrian Illhoof, there's this little bookcase. You click on the bookcase and just like it's a secret little hallway here. Yeah, I mean Karazhan, oh my god. Like if you guys didn't play in Burning Crusade, like what you did was Karazhan. Imagine every single LFR, but there's only one LFR and it takes 7 hours and you never finish it, and people ninja the loot and people cry and it's just absolute, oh, it's just horrible. Basically, whenever I joined my my guild that I was in for a very long time, Overdose, before then I was in a guild that was progressing on Karazhan, and that, mind you, this was during Black Temple, and so it was just absolutely horrible. And man, I mean Karazhan, I really love it, but I also have some pretty bad memories here. Shade of Iran, you have to kill him too. He's a boss. Basically, you have to kill all the bosses, I'm pretty sure, in order to activate the chess event, have the door open. Fun fact is Shade of Iran is actually Medivh's, who's this is Medivh's tower, and he's actually Medivh's tower. And Medivh's mother, Egwene, who's actually, it's a realm name, she basically just like got with Iran because he was like kind of a wizard, like kind of like a, not really a very good wizard actually. He was just kind of like an average wizard, whereas Egwene was the what was it, protector of Tristfall or something like that. I don't really quite remember the name. And if you bring in the staff, Medivh's staff, Atish, great staff of the Guardian, yeah, the Guardian of Tristfall, because Medivh is the last Guardian of Tristfall. And basically, if you bring that staff in, Shade of Iran does a special. He like says something special if you engage him with that staff equipped, which is kind of cool. Netherspite actually used to be a very complicated and complex fight. At this point in time in the game, the strategy for Netherspite is to kill him as fast as you can, which is usually about 5 to 10 seconds. So I wouldn't really worry about killing him either. There's actually really no boss in this instance that's even remotely difficult to kill. As I've said like a dozen times, the chess event is only annoying. And we're about to start that now. As you can see, there will be a slight cut in the video. Now that's because I wiped on the chess event, and I didn't want you guys to see that. Basically, you have to talk to the king to start it. As soon as you talk to the king, you leave the king. Be like click the leave vehicle, or basically you can right click the debuff off, and then you take the 2 footmen in front of the king and your queen, who's actually the conjurer, and you move them up 1 space. The reason that you're moving them up 1 space is so whenever Medivh uses the cheat that puts fire on the ground, you can move the conjurer and lane up and back out of the fire without them being restricted by the footmen being there. After you move the footman, you take the conjurer and you move him up and you start dropping bombs on. I think it's like, isn't that like General Blackhand? Yeah, so this is like the first World of Warcraft war. So this would be like Warcraft 1, and make sure you're using the Rain of Fire on him, because not only does it damage other targets, but it's a dot and it will do more damage per click. It will do 6,000 damage, whereas the what's it called? The Ice Lance thing will only do, I think, 4. At this point, you're just spamming buttons. Sometimes things won't go right. There are other strategies where you move the water elementals up in the same way that I moved these 2 up. And as you can see, as soon as I left, I clicked another space, and then I immediately left him so I could move King Lane. And as soon as I get into him, I just move him. And I guess I don't really cast anything because it was on cooldown. But if it wasn't on cooldown, I would cast Heroism, which is my button 4 ability that gives me bonus damage. But I guess King Lane was just doing that by default. So as soon as they're both out of the fire, you regain control of the Conjurer. I'm just turning him around. And basically just keep dropping bombs on the general. Sometimes whenever the general doesn't move forward, there is a bit of RNG into this. I wouldn't really say there's ever a time that you're actually like guaranteed fucked, but there are some times where it's pretty close, and it's definitely very annoying to do. The king does a lot of damage, and the reason that I don't spend a lot of time fighting the king or using the king is that basically the conjurer does more damage. It's kind of like in chess where the king is powerful at close range, but the queen is the most powerful piece on your board. And so basically you want to stay in the conjurer as much as possible, because not only does he have ranged attacks, but they also do more damage than King Lane's do. King Lane does have cleave damage, but it's really all irrelevant. This is not really that big of a deal to do to begin with. As you can see, fire hit the ground again, and so immediately I move him out, and then I switch over. I get out, so the cooldown is out. You can only get in 1 piece every 10 minutes, and then I just go ahead and take that space right in front of the general, and then I just start dropping bombs on him. And at this point, this late in the game, I'm so far ahead in terms of health and everything. It's just pretty much for sure going to be able to kill him here. It's pretty annoying. You want to make sure that if you're using King Lane or any melee character in the chess event, that you have them facing their target, because they actually do a passive attack ability. As you can see, he's doing it like just with the one hand. There, he just did it right there, and it'll do like 500 damage, but it won't show up on the screen. But if you look at their health, you can tell that it actually is occurring. And that's actually pretty much it for the chess event. The Conjurer is, for whatever reason, attacking him even though he's turned around. That's awesome, but usually it doesn't turn out that way. Sometimes your teammates will not assist you, sometimes they will. It really just kind of depends. At this point, I'm just moving the king, and I'm not even going to worry about the Conjurer, because the general's just so low, and now he's dead. And as soon as you win the chess event, you're just going to go ahead and it'll eventually take you out, or you can just right-click the buff off, and there'll be a chest next to Medivh, and he will he'll go away, and then the door in front of you will open. The chess event is not skippable. You cannot skip the chess event. There's an exploit to where you can actually fight Prince Malchezaar only, and not fight any other boss. I don't really like to show a lot of straight up fucking exploits on my channel. I will show things that are slightly abusive game mechanics, maybe not quite intended, but I mean straight up exploits where you're like walking through the wall and everything, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of that here. If you go up to the top of the tower, obviously, we've got a boy up here, Prince Malchezaar, and the strategy for him is you kill him in 5 to 10 seconds as well. He has 3 phases, none of them matter. Basically, okay, and he is dead. Alright, and that's it. Basically, you can go ahead and get your helmet from him, and you also Gorhel also drops from him, And so that's pretty much it for the video. I don't really know where he is right now, but yep. So thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.